Off the top tonight, a lawsuit against Founders Brewing claiming racial discrimination has been settled. But the details of that settlement, including how much money was handed out, are part of a non-disclosure agreement.
Today, the brewer's first and only director of inclusion and diversity, who resigned over claims that management did not heed the input of minority voices, spoke about the settlement.
News 8's Barton Dieters has those details and what's next for Founders.
The settlement announcement came in lawyerly statements from the founders and from the man who filed the lawsuit. In the statements, both sides say mistakes were made, neither side takes blame, and everyone wishes everyone else the best.
The response looked like a very political response. They still are avoiding the topic. They're still avoiding taking responsibility.
Tracy Evans, who is black, sued the Grand Rapids-based brewery last year, claiming he was held to different standards than his white counterparts and was subjected to racial slurs. But it was a deposition from the case leaked to the media last week, in which the former manager of the Detroit location claimed he could not determine if Evans or even President Barack Obama are black. That led to outrage, leading to the shutdown of its Detroit taproom and some bars taking the beer from their taps. In a statement ostensibly written by company co-founders Mike Stevens and Dave Embers, said that both sides, quote, agreed that nobody be viewed at fault here. The statement said that since the case was filed, they had, quote, listened, engaged in self-discovery, and reached common ground to make amends. They said they are committed to moving the cause of diversity and inclusion forward for Founders. In a letter to employees, Founders said, quote, with the benefit of hindsight, we realize that we would have handled things differently by speaking up as soon as we became the subject of controversy.
They've still missed the whole point. So I really hope that in seeing this and living through this experience, that they can take a moment to see beyond themselves and contribute to the greater good in this society.
A statement allegedly from Evans released by Founders said that he believes seeing color and valuing people for who they are and their collections of experiences should be the mission. He apologized to Founders employees who weren't involved in the case but were affected by the controversy.
The overall staff genuinely believes in the importance of having an inclusive culture. And from the very beginning, this has never been a staff issue.
A little while ago, I talked to the owner of the pyramid scheme. She says she has no plans to put Founders back into taps unless she can see true evidence of a culture change. In Grand Rapids, Barton Dieters, News 8.